Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here. Today I am going to do my very first tag video, and I am going to be doing the Creatures of the Night tag, which was created by Kat of Catty-tastic, and I just love this tag so much, and I wasn't tagged but I thought I'm just going to give it a go anyway. I love the idea of thinking about different creatures and different ghostly ghouly things and trying to pick your favourite books from those. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get into the tag. I have to apologise, I'm not going to have the actual physical books here because a lot of the time I borrow things from the library and then I take them back. I keep books that I like, but I haven't got a massive collection. I tend to borrow them or buy them and then donate them so that they go through Oxfam bookshops and places like that. The first creature of the night is vampires, and for this I've picked The Coldest Girl in Coldtown. I read this around 6 months ago and I just really enjoyed it. It was a really good take on vampires. Vampires are in everyday society, and they have the government have set up towns where vampires can live to try and contain them. There's bloggers that talk about vampires. And it's just a really fun, fast, action-paced book. I really enjoyed it. And I believe, actually, that's the same book that Catty from Catty-tastic picked as well. So, high five there. The second creature of the night is Werewolf. Now, for this one, I'm not actually picking a book where a werewolf is the main protagonist, but he and his pack are a very big part of the series. That is Patricia Briggs' Mercy Thompson series. Mercy Thompson is a car mechanic and she is a shapeshifter. Her boss is a gremlin, and the really hot man that lives down the road is a werewolf. And this series is just brilliant. It's fast paced, it's full of action, it's a proper guilty pleasure read, lots of romance. It's just a brilliant series, so I'm recommending that one. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you will know the third one will come as no surprise. Number 3 is Zombies, and for me it's got to be The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey. I just loved this book. It's a really interesting take on zombies, or as they call them in the book, hungries. It's a story of Melanie, who is a child and who is locked in a cell all night, and in the mornings the army come in, strap her into a wheelchair and take her into a classroom where she learns with other children. She doesn't really know anything about herself, doesn't really understand why she's locked in. It's just all that she's remembered, and this story is just a really good take on the zombie novel. My fourth pick is, again, not a tenuous link, because if you do look it up on Goodreads list, it does come into the ghost type books, but it's an oldie but a real goodie, and it's The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. I absolutely adored this book when I read it when it came out. It's written from Susie Salmon's perspective. I believe it's based in the 70s from what I remember, and she's dead and she's in heaven, and she's telling her story about how she was abducted, and it's the story around her family and her looking over them and then finding out what happened to her. And this book is a must read, I think, for everyone. It's just a really good book. There's also a film that was made. I'm not sure I enjoyed the film as much, but if you like film tie-ins, then that's a really good way to go. For my number 5 pick for witches, I pick A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. I love this series. The first book is about Diana, and she is doing research in Oxford Bodleian Library, and she comes across a book and it sets in motion all sorts of things. There's witches, of course, as this is the witch book, but there is also vampires and demons and love and escapades and adventure, and it's just a really good book. For my 6th pick for fairy/fae, I'm going to go for Peter Pan. Tinkerbell is probably my favourite fairy of all time. It's a classic children's book, but can be read by anyone, and it's definitely a must read and a must have. For my 7th pick, Demon, I picked the Sweet Evil trilogy by Wendy Higgins. I love this story. It was a really good, fun, just great read. It's about Anna, and she is a girl that can sort of sense people's emotions, and she meets this guy called Caden, and it's about their romance, but it's also about these teenagers / young adults that are the product of a relationship between a demon and a mortal, so they're all half demon and they have to work for their family. If your dad is the demon of greed, then you're expected to go out and work and try and incite people to be greedy, and that gives them some sort of power. They feed off that power. For Angel, how could I pick anything but The Daughter of Smoke and Bones by Laini Taylor? I absolutely adored this trilogy. It was really good, really well written, and there were some slow parts in parts, but it was just a really good read. All about angels and two different worlds and fighting and battles. It was just epic. I loved it. Alien, I pick The Host by Stephanie May. It's about an alien invasion where aliens or wanderers have taken over the minds of most of the humans, but there are still some people that are in the resistance that are holding off. Melanie is our lead protagonist and she gets captured and the wanderer gets put into her, but she fights against the wanderer, and so there is the wanderer and Melanie in one body, one consciousness between the two of them, and it's about this post-apocalyptic type scenario, but it's really well written and I really enjoyed it. And finally, 10. For superpowered humans, I have to go for the Arcana Chronicles by Kresley Cole. I've only read the first two because there's only two out at the moment, and I wish there was more. It's a proper good read. It's about tarot cards. That is the type of idea behind it. There are humans, human teenagers, and they are all different tarot cards in essence. So you've got the Joker, you've got Death, you've got the Tower, you've got the Magician. The first book in the series is called Poison Princess, and it's the story of Evie. She has vision of a post-apocalyptic world. When this world actually starts to happen, the things that she's dreaming of, we realise that perhaps there's more at play here, and it is a deadly game till one remains. And I definitely recommend this. I really loved it. I mean, I whizzed through both of the books. First one, Poison Princess, and the second one, Endless Night, each within 1 to 2 sittings maximum. Really good reads. So that's my Creatures of the Night tag. I hope you enjoyed it. It was my first go at a tag, so be gentle. But always keen for people to let me know ways I can improve and get better. And let me know what your favourites are in those genres. I love each of those genres. Paranormal type, Creatures of the Night type books are my favourite. Nothing too scary, but I like a bit of the fantastical and supernatural. So let me know your thoughts. And I'm not going to tag anyone specific, but I tag anybody that watches. I just love to see people do this. So I tag all of you. Anyway, bye for now, BookTube.